Hello and welcome to Executive Encore. If you've been here before, I'm so glad that you have returned. This podcast is dedicated to empowering and inspiring women. Whether you're a seasoned executive, a visionary entrepreneur, or you are navigating your next great chapter that we call the Executive Encore, you are in the right place. Our mission is to share powerful stories and practical wisdom to help you thrive in both your career leading up to your executive encore and then into your executive encore. So it's all about your career and your life. We believe in the incredible strength of women leaders and the immense value they bring, especially during their encore years. Each episode is designed to provide you with the support, community, and inspiration to lead differently and build a legacy of excellence. Today, I am truly honored to have Shruti Trivedi as our guest. Shruti is a powerhouse of expertise in personal transformation and self leadership. As a certified life and leadership coach, she has dedicated her career to helping individuals like yourself, particularly women, unlock their full potential and redefine success on their own terms. With a rich background in human psychology and blending corporate experience, Shruti has guided countless women through significant career and life transitions. Her work focuses on profound connection between mindset, resilience, and fulfillment. She is renowned for her ability to help clients navigate challenges, embrace change, and turn moments of uncertainty into powerful opportunities for growth. Shruti's approach is not just about achieving personal and professional goals, it's about creating a life of purpose and impact. Her insights on navigating midlife in particular, not as a crisis, but as a launching pad for something greater, are exactly why she is such an influential voice in our community today. Shruti, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Patricia. I feel honored, and thank you so much for your generous words. I feel
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm excited. Today, we're going to be talking about the modern woman leader mindset, building unshakable resilience. And there's a little key in that unshakable. We're going to get to that. And lastly, a controversial point of view on midlife. So stick around for that last talking point. Shruti, let's start with a topic that is so fundamental to everything that we do, our mindset. You often speak about the power of mindset, a shift, especially for women in senior leadership who are now entering phases of their careers or they are into their executive encore years. Can you talk more about the common limiting beliefs that you see that are holding back very experienced women, and that what would be the practical first steps that she can take to begin challenging and reframing those beliefs into empowering ones?
absolutely. So I think with mindset, the first thing that comes to my mind is the book Mindset, if you by Dr. Carol Dweck. It's I read it a couple
Mhm.
of years back, and it introduced me to these two different types of mindset: fixed mindset versus growth mindset. I was definitely a fixed mindset type of a person, believing in certain things that this is what success looks like, the stories that we are telling ourselves.
Mhm.
Uh, and it that book just opened the doors for me of growth mindset. Like failure is actually good, and I was like, really, how can failure be good? And failure actually means you're learning. So I even now when I fail an exam or a certification exam, I say I didn't fail, I didn't pass. First of all, I don't use the word fail, and I learned from the process itself. It's all
Yes.
learning and never a failure. So I think that overall mindset shift has turned me into this different version of me. That gives me so that I look for positivity around now. Like, even if there is something negative, I try to look okay, yeah, this is not something negative, positive, but what can we look, something positive that can happen?
Mhm.
And I think for me in midlife, I'm 41 now, um, with the mindset change of career change that have taken, it's too late, right? We've always tell ourselves it's too late. From that mindset to just saying, I'm just getting started, and learning is lifelong. There's no age to learning. I am just getting started with more wisdom and more clarity.
Yeah, that was such a great example where we come to a point in our life when we look at what we haven't achieved, maybe, or what may have been failure, and that's really not the growth mindset. The growth mindset is, like you said, I'm 41. I'm going to take what I've experienced over the last 41 years, and now I'm going to use it to make the next 40 years even better, right? That's growth mindset. Good. That's a great example. Tell us a little bit about this word resilience. We hear it so much. It comes into creeps into our mindset as well. Um, and we hear a lot about putting it into practice during tough times, and that it can be a real challenge. Many of our listeners have navigated significant professional and personal hurdles already. Based on your experience, what are the core components of what you call genuine resilience? I love that. How can women proactively cultivate this genuine resilience through inner strength?
The best way I can describe redefining resilience is not bouncing back, but moving forward
Mm,
as who you are now. Because
mhm,
when we reflect on our past, there'll always be things where we'll say, "Oh, we shouldn't have done this," or but we just need to move forward with whatever we have. And I think that's just the best way I can describe it. Uh,
mhm,
Resilience. I think it's absolutely necessary to move forward with what.
mhm, mhm. Or even bound forward, right? Like
Mhm.
jump into it, go forward. So it's not just about surviving, is it? It's about
Yeah, and partner with your nervous system. I and it's necessary, because what our brain says and what our mind says are completely opposite, and we have this conflict within us where
mhm,
we're telling our minds something, and there is a fight going on within ourselves. I call it like the angel and devil version of ourselves as well, where we are just conflicting within. So just partner with your inner self, and,
yeah.
and then it's easier to move forward.
This
And then
comes,
mindset and resilience also go along hand in hand.
mhm, mhm. This comes at a good timing. I recently published a blog and the newsletter talking about how women in particular have taken on this strength and resilience because we've been told to, or we've heard messages about toughing it out, right?
Mhm.
But during those times when we're toughing it out, we're spending an awful lot of energy that is not moving us forward. It's just being tough in that moment.
Mhm.
So I think this came up at a really good point where it's all about us doing our inner work and using that inner work and the positive energy from the inner work to bound forward or move forward. So that that's a great way that you have expressed that as well. And to me, that's what genuine resilience is. It's not about toughing it out, right? It's about looking at what we can put in place that we already know. We know we've gone through some of these things before. So bringing that forward and helping that to uh, drive the inner empowerment for ourselves, right?
Absolutely. I think we've also, our upbringing is that such that we've all told to be the strong women, the brave
Yes.
women. Even if we experience any loss or any grief, we cannot cry, just be move on. Time will heal. We've been given these
All
phrases
those,
to use,
yeah.
which I believed in it because I felt that was the right thing.
Yeah.
Since I have had my own transformation, I think I started now advocating that you don't have to be tough. If you feel that you're allowed to be vulnerable, I think the best thing. You're
Mm-hmm.
allowed to be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable. But if it's in front of your kids, you're allowed to cry in front of them. Just feel what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely necessary, and listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Necessary that we avoid our feelings, and then we just like, if I remember the times I had to be vulnerable, or I had felt like crying, I used to rush to the bathroom, cry, and then come outside, put on some heavy makeup to hide my feelings.
And you know what, Shruti? I don't think you were the only one. I think many of us escape to the ladies' room as our sanctuary to get over that emotion, right? Because we were always taught that we have to come back out strong, and it's quite a lot of pressure on us. I think that we don't realize how that maybe holds us back in other ways. So now I want to take us to the controversial talking point about midlife as a launching pad, not a finish line. I love your perspective on reframing midlife. So at 41, you've heard all the societal narratives painted as a time of decline and invisibility for women, but you see it as a launch pad. So I'd love for you to expand on this.
Absolutely. I would say midlife is not the end of the story. It's, I think, maybe the most honest chapter. And like I also said, turning it's too late into I'm just getting started. Yeah,
Good. Good.
it's absolutely necessary, because that's the best way we can approach, because um, you, it's, you can. And I
Mhm,
say that with my own experience. I feel more energized than ever. I feel more fulfilled than ever.
mhm,
I truly believe we all have a purpose in life.
mhm,
And, um, the society has designed a template of life,
mhm.
that you have to achieve certain milestones at a certain age,
Yes.
and we follow that template. We are all supposed to follow that template.
Mhm,
We waver from that template, we are considered risky or reckless. Uh, and I think there should be a time, at least if not in your early 20s, at least in midlife, if there is a realization, which happened to me, where I was checking all the boxes that are necessary for a successful life. I had a wonderful job, 3 kids, a family, a husband, and a wonderful family and a network. However, I felt something was missing, and I didn't understand what was missing.
mhm,
And that's where when I made my career shift from IT to coaching, which felt really reckless, but it
mhm,
more fulfilled than ever. I
mhm,
I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm having this conversation with you right now, which I'm enjoying. I, it just feels so fulfilled, like my life purpose is getting. I'm getting to my life purpose on a daily.
mhm, mhm.
This
Or
is
you're building your life purpose, right? Rather than getting to it, you're building it.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about what you think are some of the unique advantages and opportunities that women in their encore years, which you're not there yet, but in a way you've come into an encore period of your life. Okay, after corporate, you've now come into where you want a different life and a more fulfilling life. So that's very much the same as for women who go through corporate life up to 60, okay, 50, 60, and then they want to know what's next. So I'll ask you the question again. I sort of presented that scenario first. How can they leverage the best of their accumulated wisdom and the experience so that they can launch into something new, or pivot their lives and their careers, or create something more meaningful or with more impact in what we could call the vibrant chapter of life?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing is listen to yourself.
Mhm.
There will be some inner calling within you that you might consider as a hobby. So start making a list of your hobbies itself. That would be your first go to list. And then to unlock your transformation, I think going a little bit in depth, I think there are three layers that I consider, three layers to unlock your transformation. First is the mindset that we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and then money, of course. We all need our finances to be good. Now, aligning those three. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my strengths that I help women with is, I think, getting who feel stuck at this age, in this midlife, emotionally, professionally, and financially. Get clear on what they want, to take some brave steps and doable steps,
Mm-hmm.
what they can take with. Um, Look at these three layers: mind steps, the stories that you're telling yourself, the habits, building consistent, small, tiny habits to start off with, and then money. We all need to pay our bills. So whether it supports or sabotage your next chapter. So
Mm-hmm.
when these three line up, then you finally can say that I'm myself again. So
Mm-hmm.
I truly feel that, and it's all with my experience that I'm speaking of, because like I said, it was my inner calling. I was trying to push it down, doing my job, and then I just, after I watched podcasts, and then it came up to me, like, this phrase last year, it came up to me so many times: believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where I said, okay, let me look up everything. And then I looked at my finances, they were okay, so I was ready to take this next chapter, maybe risky chapter, I can say. But now I can just feel that transformation happen, and with the mindset change, the habits that I built up,
Yeah.
I feel so fulfilled now.
That's great to hear. I'd like to add to that, believe in yourself, and that is building trust in yourself as well. You can believe yourself, but self doubt will creep in every now and again if things aren't going exactly the way you plan. But to be able to have that foundation of self trust, to know that anything that comes up, you can deal with it with grace or positive energy or the growth mindset, all those things that are really good skills and habits for us to build. So, Shruti, this has been very empowering and insightful.
See, that imposter syndrome will creep in multiple times. But today,
Yeah,
uh, imposter syndrome will, there will be times where I'm like, can I really do this? Am I really fit for it?
yeah.
And
Well,
that's the strategies you need to learn, that yes, I can do it. Or
yeah.
what will happen? I mean,
Trust
so
trust yourself, and you can always change course anyway, right? That's the other thing, is that you may have this great plan ahead of you, but I've started to, like, some of my members now in my membership. They're talking about, rather than it being a challenge, it's an experiment. So it doesn't feel so heavy. So they're trying these experiments in their life. And I think this talks to the growth mindset, and also damping down that imposter syndrome. No, you are you. You're not an imposter. You're trying this experiment to see how it works for you, right?
absolutely.
So your wisdom on building resilience, like that genuine resilience, is very important for reframing midlife as such a powerful launching pad, and it will undoubtedly resonate deeply with many of our listeners. I know it will with our members. Thank you for your generosity and your expertise. Even as a 41-year-old, I just love it when a 40 something comes on. And yeah, that seems to be the decade of where our wisdom really blooms, and then it keeps on blooming. So thank you so much. Um, I ask all my podcast guests about a moment when they realized that they wanted to remaster their lives and work. Now, you talked a little bit about your experience, and some women tell me, oh, there were many times. So I'd like to ask you, what is the one time that really stands out for you when you realize that you'd like to remaster your life and work?
For me personally, it was when I finally said yes to therapy, and that's what I highly advocate for mental health. I
Mm-hmm,
know my mental health for over 11 years. I'm
mm-hmm,
blessed with three beautiful children. However, I've also lost three babies.
mm,
For me, it took more than 11 years to finally say yes to therapy. And honestly speaking, I went to therapy with a very negative attitude. Like, the therapist is going to be like, you've had your losses so long back and you're blessed with children, three beautiful kids, you have a job, you just want to create problems. But on the contrary, the therapist was shocked and she welcomed me and gave me the validation. I needed that validation. We always talk about we don't need validation from others and believe in yourself. But in that point of my time, I needed the validation from my therapist to tell me that whatever I'm feeling, that whenever I'm getting these panic attacks, it's okay to feel that way. And I think for me, that was the most, I mean, the peak of that moment where I felt okay, now my transformation begins. And I think my entire journey, life journey, just changed since
mm-hmm,
I started believing in myself. We did so many exercises to change my mindset. And I think that's where I started advocating about mental health openly, because I observed that mental health is so unspoken about. It's There is so much stigma around it. And
mm-hmm.
my life mission now, where I want to talk openly and break that stigma.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that gets back to the messages that we have received that we need to be strong. Well, sometimes we also need a lending hand as well, right? So, yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, to all our listeners, I hope you feel as inspired as I do right now, listening to someone who's just going into her 40s, still early in her 40s, and the wisdom that she brings into that decade. And in many ways, it's just the beginning of embracing the power of mindset, building genuine resilience, and viewing the next chapter as your greatest opportunity. To continue this conversation, please connect in the community of like minded women. I invite you to visit my website at patriciamuir.com. There, you can learn more about the programs, including the Executive Encore Network for Women, and find resources designed to support your growth. And I also would like to ask you to take a look at connecting with Shruti through links in the show notes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And for subscribers and members of the Executive Encore for Women, watch for Shruti's feature this week in the newsletter on February 8th. She has a special offer just for members and subscribers. If you're not already a subscriber and you'd like to be before Sunday, this Sunday, and get the Sunday newsletter, see the QR code on YouTube up in the corner. You'll be able to sign up for the newsletter there, or look in the show notes as well on the podcast and in YouTube. Subscribe to Executive Encore on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. I would be so grateful if you could leave a comment or a review, as it helps other women just like you to find our community. Read this week's blog featuring this conversation with Shruti. Add your comments, have your voice matter. Shruti and I are just waiting for your comments so that we can respond. When you subscribe to the newsletter, you will also receive VIP access to other resources and other podcasts guests have provided. For more resources and to join the conversation, visit my website at patriciamuir.com and follow me on LinkedIn as well. Remember, this is where your executive encore begins. This is where you start to live, work, lead differently with self trust and a belief in yourself and healthy boundaries and a healthy mindset. Until next time, take care of yourself, do what's best for you, and don't jeopardize what you've built for yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.